the loudspeaker here as well? Beauty. So we just walked through a corridor where there was the same work, but it was growing. The next one is the last one. It's a perfect circle. So it was a geometrical exercise in a disc, a circular disc, rotating. So here you can see it is almost becoming a circle. So I have a long fascination in geometry and movement over time. So as you move through here, gradually the world and the work rotated, and slowly it became a disc. If you go the other way, you will notice it goes from being a disc into a flat line. Let's move on.
Hi everybody, welcome to the live broadcast on CGTN, and we are now at the Red Brick Art Museum in Beijing, and now we have the artist, the very world famous visual artist Eliasson, to introduce his major setups here at the exhibition called The Unspeakable Openness of Things. Let's follow him and understand the stories behind the exhibition.
So these two works are my most recent works. I made them for this exhibition here, for this space. This lens is a glass lens, and it comes from a lighthouse. Before we had the GPS, we were using the lighthouse to navigate, to sail with. So it actually has something to do with the compass. This is an orientation lamp, you could say. I've used it holding it, standing it instead of laying it, which is normally. And this creates this quite beautiful pattern. And these two different works, whose title skips my mind, for me they're a little bit like night and day. I like this blue color. If you are inside your house, just when the sun goes down, if you turn all the light away or all the light off, if you pretend that you have a power cut, the light from the window will appear to be incredibly blue. Partly because the light you turned off was very warm. It's our domestic light at the house, and actually it's very yellow, like this one. So when we turn it on, the light from the windows has this amazing blue color. This is the beginning of the night. So these are all the different times of day, you could say. But also it is more like a meditative object. So if you come here by yourself, without your phone, you can sit down and meditate looking at this if you wish. We are about to, now we will go into another space, and I can explain the work in there, but is there any questions to the works that we've just passed through so far?
大家有什么问题针对刚刚的几个作品
Please.
Also controls the lens or
Yeah, I can repeat the question. So the colors here are actually from two sources of light. There's two lamps. One lamp is blue. The blue lamp is a kind of UV blue light. It's a so-called UV LED, for which Mr. Nakasaki got the Nobel Prize 3 years ago. Different story, but it's true. So why don't we go into the next room? But anyway, I can start by explaining what it is you're seeing. This is a water curtain. It's made with the sprinklers we use in the garden. And inside there's some light. It's called rainbow assembly. And you know the word assembly means a collection, or it means a collection of various parts. I made it circular, a little bit like a parliament. A parliament where all the different main rainbows, they sit and they talk about color in very different ways. As you know, the rainbow also symbolizes diversity and peace. So everybody has a personal relationship to a rainbow. See, I think we should all try to go into the assembly now. You won't get very wet.
因为这个作品是对大家开放的，希望大家都能走进这个作品里面去试一下。
You can walk around and find your own favorite rainbow. But now we are inside.
We can see the different colors. And just now we walked across the curtain. Really not got very wet.
Actually defines a space, or what actually
Actually,
constitutes
water is
a
like
space.
a fog, like fog,
You
not
could
water.
propose this as an architecture made out of soft walls, maybe made out of ephemera. And as you can see that, oh, I see, okay, I have the light here. You can see the rainbow actually changes a lot according to where you stand. And if you look at it as architecture, there's an interesting point in noticing that architecture is actually relative to how you see it and where you stand. This means that if you look over there, the rainbow changes. If you move, the rainbow changes. Meaning, I am also here asking you to make the rainbow with me. So you could argue that the rainbow is always here, but I would like to propose to you that the rainbow is only here when you are here, right? So it actually makes a difference whether you do something, if you look, if you're here, and if you're not here. Some people would suggest that a work of art is defined by the work alone. I would like to propose to you that the work of art is actually dependent on your engagement. If you don't engage, or if you don't look at it, maybe we could argue that there is nothing. That means your engagement actually has a significant importance in the general exhibition also, I would argue. Why don't you walk around a little bit? We will move on in a minute.
大家都可以来回转一下，然后我们等一下。
拍你拍你，对了。
And actually the viewers are the creator of the curtain. When they move, the curtain will move along. So we can change the shape and the movement of the curtain, of the water. Actually it's like a fog, more like a fog than water. Not get very wet. Well. And now we are following the visual artist, Olafur Eliasson, to explore his artworks here at the Red Brick Art Museum. This is the largest ever held in China. So it's lucky for us to have this chance just before the show opens to the public. Okay, let's keep walking. galleries to gallery, from one hall to another, we can see some black
This way.
walls.
Follow me, please. Yeah. Don't run. So, why don't we walk in? So come over a little bit so that people can get in. So of course, again, the light is ruining my work. So maybe we can turn off the light. It's difficult to be a light
大家可以
artist
把那个灯
and
光
then have
关
light
上，
on the
因
camera
为
also.
这个耳机
That's great. That's much nicer. So, this is called a map for unthought thoughts. And if you have a closer look, you can actually see the shadows are moving. Try to look at the shadows. Can you see it? Can you see it? So, it is as if the space is slowly moving. Can you feel the floor is moving too?
Yes, yes, now.
Yeah, you see, the whole thing is moving. The ceiling is moving, the floor is moving, the wall is moving. We are on a spaceship. This is a grid, a net of unthought thoughts. Unthought thoughts are the things that we have not thought about, but we will think about in the future.
This is an illusion of light.
Yeah, well, it's not an illusion. The wall is actually, of course, not moving and the floor is not moving, but our perception is that everything is moving a little bit. And it's because the light is in fact moving. The light is slowly moving. Thank you, Mr. Jan.
We can see the
So,
shadow.
the net, these lines, see here there's a star.
Yeah.
See, slowly the star is changing now, it's disappearing now. The net is the lines of a quasi-crystal. Quasi-crystal means a crystal which is sometimes regular, sometimes chaotic. So this is a net of an unpredictable mathematical formula. It's the quasi-predictable formula. This is more scientific, but I thought you should know that the net actually comes from a mathematical formula. When you're in here, you should look for yourself, and I think you can see yourself 4 times. One is here, I can see my hand. One is in the mirror, I can see myself over there, or there. But I can also see myself here. And also one time on the shadow. So when I see myself here on the wall, I can see that if I walk closer to the wall, it gets smaller. If I go closer to the light, I get bigger. And as you have noticed, very often people start to look at their own shadow, and then they start to do things, right? When you start to do things, it's because you can see yourself from the perspective of the shadow. So it is as if the wall is looking back at you. It is as if it is listening to you. It is asking you to dance, maybe? So when you go over there, why don't you try to dance bit when you walk through the space.
他邀请大家在这个空间里面跳。
Please. We will not leave this room until you have all danced.
他说你们不准走，如果没跳的话就不准走。
So anyway, so take your time and experience the room. One last interesting detail. If you walk slowly, the wall appears not to move. If you stop, the wall moves. Right? Because it's so little, you cannot see it if you are in motion. So it does require you to, if you move, the world stops. If you stop, the world moves. This maybe you could use for something interesting to write about. So you can, as a metaphor of some idea. I think we're going out through the same door. I mean, normally you would go out this way, but let's go out here. Should we take the next one over here so that we are on time? It's a Kodak moment. So, take your time. So, in this corridor, there is a series of works with watercolors, which are these ones, and glass spheres. The watercolors, they are round, like a planet, like our planet. Watch it, don't push the sphere over. The watercolors are made with ice from a glacier in Greenland. So I shipped the ice to my studio in Berlin. Then I put a block of ice here. And then I put some color on the ice. And then the watercolor paints itself with the melting of the ice. So this is just the way the water goes. Of course I put a limit on the circle so that the water does not go outside. So these are melting glacier watercolors. There's 12 of them, like one for each month of the year. And here's another sphere. And if you notice, if you stand there, it's black. If you stand about there, it's a mirror. So you see yourself. And if you stand over there and you look this way, it's blue. So every sphere has a different color. There are 6 colors. And it's the colors of the rainbow also. The spheres are like playful objects in which you can choose to see nothing. You can see yourself. You can see the world through the lens. If you look at the work here, or you can see the color. So in a way it's a little world model, or you can call it a reality machine. So when you look into the sphere, you don't look into the future, you look into now, here and now, and what you see is what you get. It's a little bit like real life, right? Anna, do you remember the title of the spheres? Oh, they're called chronobiological spheres, right? Yes. Chronobiological spheres. One photo. Now we go to the sound galaxy. Sound galaxy. Sound galaxy. Okay. Yeah, we have 2 works outside and we have 1 work more inside. Let's go down in the basement. This way. I see. Please come in. This work is called Sound Galaxy. Maybe turn it down a little bit. Come in. Just come a little in so that you can. Great, right? Okay. We take this one and this one, the cube and the rhombic. You get this one. So if you take the outer ring in this circuit here and put it together, you get to the inner ring. So the inner ring is polyeders that exist by the combination of different platonic polyeders. So you can say the inner rings are coming together of the outer ring. I call it a sound galaxy because for me every shape has a tone or tune, and obviously it's up to you to listen to them and see what sound you might or might not hear. I've been very interested in models of space, in algebra and mathematics. Working on this type of projects has been an ongoing research that my studio in Berlin and me have engaged in for a long time, for many years now. I'm very curious about the spheric polyedric systems. We know that the architecture that we normally live in and the normal cities are made of is based on a much more simple and rationalistic and primarily driven by economy. But a lot of these shapes here, some of which are quite common in nature, a lot of these shapes also form a spatial language, which also could have been architecture. But that's not how our architecture evolved. So for me, the sound galaxy is also
in the middle of the live broadcast about the visual artist Eliasson's live exhibition in Red Brick Art Museum. And this extensive exhibition covers almost all the 8 halls and the garden and the round hall of the museum. And there are altogether about 30 artworks. And some of the artworks were adapted for the exhibition, and they're very important to the artist throughout his career, and some were especially created for the site at the museum. And now, just before the show opens to the public this afternoon, the curator of the exhibition, as well as the artist himself, Eliasson, are guiding us for a tour around the museum. And he explains the major setups one by one and also tell the stories behind them. So now let's start following him again. And from gallery to gallery, we may go through some dark areas. So when you see some black screen, don't be scared. We're just walking through the galleries. And the exhibition, some of the exhibition are indoors and some are outdoors. So now we are waiting for Eliasson to come out of the sound galaxy room. There's no signal in that room, so we cannot enter. And maybe we go outside first to have a look before they come. Oh, this is the round hall. This is the main venue of the museum. And here, the centerpiece, let's have a look there. We can see a wood log. Actually, this is centerpiece. It's called the unspeakable openness of things. Actually, this is the theme of this exhibition. Let's check how can we speak about the unspeakable openness of things. Just have a look at the centerpiece of the exhibition. It is especially created for this exhibition. Located in the round hall of the Red Brick Museum. And also, the exhibition got its name from this artist. Okay, let's go find how Mr. Eliasson is going to tell us about the outside exhibition. And if you are a lover of contemporary art, you might have heard of the name Olafur Eliasson. And he is half Icelandic and half Danish, but his artworks are well known all over the world. So we are very lucky. Today, we can see before all the public see this exhibition, this largest exhibition in China. We can see here many glass spheres, and each one has different color because of the light refraction. This one is the red one. And we can see all together, you can see 6 glass spheres. The orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Now we can see these paintings. This one. These paintings were painted by glacial ice, actually from the Arctic glacial ice, when they melted, they painted the painting. Actually, it's a painting made by nature, not by man. All the lines are very simple, but maybe it's talking about something. Let's explore more. Wow, they're having such a long time in the sound galaxy. We can't wait to see more. Why we're not going into that room? Because there's no signal. Maybe sometime you find some time to come here to see the sound galaxy in that room in person. I assure you, a lot of wows. But it's a pity we cannot enter that room because there's no signal. Actually, it's very splendid. Okay, we just wait for the artist and curator to come out to continue our tour around the museum. Yeah, we can see different colors when we move around the glass spheres. Eliasson's works are best known for his large-scale installations, sculptures, and works on paper, even some films. Now, this time, he selected some best of his works come to China, to this Red Brick Art Museum. And now we're waiting for them to lead us to the garden. The exhibition will formally open to the public this afternoon, maybe half an hour later. There are altogether 8 halls in the museum and 1 garden. Actually, all these exhibits of Olafur Eliasson covered almost all the spaces. The exhibition will go from today until August 12th. Okay, they're coming now, so you can follow. CCTV.
Great.
And this is the artist himself, Mr. Olafur Eliasson. Would you please say hello to our
Yes.
viewers online?
Yes, hello online viewers. I understand we are actually live. So let's go out in this amazing sunny day here in Beijing.
Yeah, such a beautiful sky with such amazing works of yours.
But thank you for saying that. You should come and visit the exhibition at the Red Brick Art Museum. Some of the works are inside the museums, but there's a few work out in this quite beautiful garden, and those are absolutely worth a visit too.
Yeah, we've seen a lot inside. Now cannot wait to see more.
So let's walk over here.
Yeah, we'll follow you. Such a pleasure you can lead us have such a thorough view of all the works even before it opens to the public.
As of tomorrow, Sunday, it's open.
To the public. Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Good.
So the lovely part of the garden is that it actually is a little bit like a labyrinth. And my work is this way, we should go this way, but it's very nice to actually also look at the pond. So
Have all the surroundings.
maybe we go here. And we can see there is about 3 weeks apparently. Then all the leaves comes out.
Yeah.
And the exhibition goes on until
August.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of time.
The most beautiful seasons in Beijing.
Yeah, which one is that?
Spring, summer, autumn.
Yeah. See, my work is actually, one of my works is down here. I think this is already quite beautiful.
This is your work here?
No, well, it's laying down there. And then the other work is up here.
So you are quite familiar with this museum. What's the first time you met?
I'm gradually trying to find out how to move around. I have been here a few times preparing the show. I already came when the museum was newly built, so it has gradually become more of a friendship. But still, the garden is like a labyrinth, and I still get lost. So I hope we can find.
A tour guide.
If we can't find the way back, you and I will have to just live here. This can be our house in the future. And there are some of my works. You see right there. Small work.
Oh, that one. The spheres.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So this glass here is different from those inside.
Yeah,
color
well, a
one.
little bit different, yes, because they can be outside, and they are a lot bigger.
Is it okay? You finished?
Where do we go here?
Oh, already finished for all the tour. And another artwork?
No, well, the other artwork you will have to go and discover that by yourself.
Oh, okay.
It's not so hard, but it's not so easy to go there. I actually don't know how to get there.
We can continue. Okay, please. Okay, so many amazing things to see, and there's a lot more to explore. But we have to wrap up our live broadcast now, and the exhibition will run until August 12th, and you can find some time to come here and enjoy the show in person. I assure you a lot of wow. And so, thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye.